Okay, Shalom Akim, Kahalayim La Yahabashim Yashabashir Hakodash, and double honest to the great Muslim apostles. Athali Hasha for the strength and all to make this video, and Yaratazar, they also find it edifying and exhorting. Which to edify means to build up, exhort means to encourage. So this was probably going to be one of them short videos. But as you can see here, you see Jeff on the left, Bezos, and then he's got his robots on the right. So all these robotics that are being worked on is really for the displacement of human workers, which really you could liken that as onto an unrighteous decree. In fact, before we even play the video, I'm gonna get that right now. So this is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, things of authority. They say, all right, we're going to put this into law, we're going to put this into the legislation, we're going to institute this, such as those executive orders that Trump is doing, that he did during the first portion of the year. That was a hot time. But yeah, it's still going, man. Esau's still going. So it says, Isaiah 10 and 1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. That's why people then feel the injustice, man, that Esau's laws, and that right grievousness, painfulness, which they have prescribed. It says to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless, man. Esau's a ruthless guy. He's trying to extract everything from anyone, man. Especially those who are less fortunate, as it says from the poor of my people. So Isaiah 10 and 1 in the NLT, what sorrow awaits the unjust judges and those who issue unfair laws. You see, New Living Translation makes it clear too. It says, they deprive the poor of justice and deny the rights of the needy among my people. They prey on widows and take advantage of orphans. So yeah, Esau, that's Esau's nature, man. But anyways, let's actually get to the video.
Oh dear. Looks like time is up for the useless eaters.
So as you see here, it says Amazon deployed over 750,000 robots. You probably saw this in other articles too. I think another article had like but it was less than this, but this one says 750,000 robots replaces over 100,000 humans replaced by robots. Emphasis there. That's a wicked decree as well, man, because people are supposed to be able to work, man, for their own gain and to look after themselves and their family too. But Esau's removing people's ability to do this. Actually, let me just focus on this portion of the video, then I'm gonna get the presets and close it out soon.
Amazon has just confirmed that they're laying off tens of thousands of staff. Why? To be replaced by robots. Yeah, that's right. We didn't think the Skynet day was coming, and yet here we are. But if you pay attention, Amazon and companies like Amazon, they tend to set a trend. But if you start paying attention, you'll notice that other companies will start coming out now to announce similar levels of laying people off. The unskilled, useless eaters that are no longer needed, and it'll look more like this.
Have y'all ever seen anything like this? VinHub. So check it out. You scan the QR code, right? There's all the snacks. There's no employees. There are robots in here. There are robots taking your order. Oh my goodness. And they got everything. They got medicine. They got... Oh my goodness.
Yes, it's like...
Yeah, Jake, man. Esau's trying to displace all the workers out there. Which really the workers, especially those of the city, are fundamental, man, for the well-being, what's the word, to get the gears rolling for the city, for lack of a better phrase to use. So let me get this precept out. This is Ecclesiasticus 38, also known as Sirach, or Ben Sirah in certain biblical versions. Chapter 38, and then starting from verse 27, because it mentions about certain jobs being core to society as well. Of course, these are a few of them that are called to this society, but I'll start from 27. Ecclesiasticus chapter 38 and 27. So every carpenter and workmaster that laboureth night and day, and they that cut and grave seals, and are diligent to make great variety, and give themselves to counterfeit imagery, and watch to finish a work. It says, the smith also sitting by the anvil, and considering the ironwork, the vapour of the fire wasteth his flesh, and he fighteth with the heat. Yep, he fighteth with the heat of the furnace, the noise of the hammer, and the anvil is ever in his ears, and his eyes look still upon the pattern of the thing that he maketh. He setteth his mind to finish his work, and watcheth to polish it perfectly. You see, so these are that two, it says carpenter, then in verse 27, it says a smith in verse 28. So these are specialties, people who specialize, in their crafts, man, and they're diligent. So with diligent just means with careful and persistent effort, man, in order to accomplish the desired outcome that they wanted, with what they're producing. Verse 29, so doth the potter sitting at his work, and turning the wheel about with his feet, who is always carefully set at his work, and maketh all his work by number. He fashioneth the clay with his arm, and boweth down his strength before his feet. He applieth himself to lead it over, and he is diligent, you see that word again, to make clean the furnace. All these trust to their hands, and everyone is wise in his work. So the Most High gave them the intelligence, the wisdom to know how to actually craft these products, man. So to the point where, they have a high level of faith in the abilities that they've been blessed with, from Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So verse 32, without these cannot, this is the key part here, without these cannot a city be inhabited, and they shall not dwell where they will, nor go up and down. And when it comes to also even just normal markets as well, let me get back to the video. Even just normal markets as well, where you just got merchants, the salesmen, people like the human interactions, man, not just flipping, let's say you're on a call, and then you want to try and sort an issue out, the bank or something, and you go through this AI or artificial intelligence, or some kind of a voice bot, a voice robot, before you can actually get down to the person, so people are made to interact, man, to socialize. That's the point. So I don't know what. Well, the point is they're fundamental for society, man. The same way those jobs are fundamental, those are the core ones. But you also got the merchants as well, the salespeople, to have that interaction. Those are core. But Esau's trying to remove all of that, man. That social interaction in order to get a product. That's part of his wicked decrees. So anyways, man, let me actually get a few more presets and I'm going to close it out. Alright, because this is really what I named the video. Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. So the keepers of the house represents, the bankers, the ones who are in the financial institutions. It says, shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and grinders, the workers, cease, which means they're going to stop from their work because they are few. Why are they few? You can see that clearly right now, because of the AI and the robots as well, automating their jobs and displacing people. Now it says, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, man. So the young ones as well, they ain't gonna have hope, man, for the future. They're not gonna have any hope for the future, man. But yeah, so let's read the point there. Hold on. And this includes women as well. If their income sources too, they're gonna get touched by this. They're not some invincible thing. That time of a woman shall come past a man is only a temporary time, man. So this is Isaiah 32 and verse 10. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. So of course that income source, that celebration time of, money, opening the new salon and something. Of course, there ain't nothing wrong with opening a business, but when it's like you take pride in it, and you don't, of course, acknowledge your Abba Shim Yahusha, it's that, yeah, man, that's all in vain, because we know there are going to be some that would be doing decently. Of course, you can go into Isaiah 4 and 1. They're going to try and provide for themselves, as they say. They're going to try, but, it ain't going to really be the case. But, most sides will be done, because that's written within the scriptures anyways. So, all of this just links to the time where, that working, that people's abilities to be able to get their own income is going to be tightened, man. Esau's going to increase that pressure. So anyway, Shalom Akim, Yabashim Yashab Rakatha, Kahalayim La Yabashim Yashab Bashir Kakudash, and double on Instagram with the apostles. Shalom.